The Power of Silence, by Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh. Being alive and walking on this earth is a miracle. Yet most of us are constantly seeking happiness somewhere far away, as if there were a better place to go. We spend so much time searching for happiness, while the world around us is full of wonders. The beauty of the earth and sky calls to us every day, every hour, yet rarely do we listen. The fundamental condition for us to hear and respond to those calls is silence. Without silence within ourselves, if our minds are filled with noise and chaos, we cannot hear the call of that beauty. There is a radio station operating in our heads. It's called NTS, non-stop thinking, a station of continuous thinking. Our minds are noisy, so we can't hear the call of life, the call of love. Our hearts are calling us, but we cannot hear. We don't have time to listen to our hearts. Mindfulness is the practice that quiets the noise within us. Without mindfulness, we can be pulled by many things, such as regrets, sorrows from the past. We reminisce about memories, relive what we have been through, to suffer over and over again, to feel the pain we've experienced. We are easily trapped in the prison of the past. We can also be drawn by the future. Those who worry, fear about the future are also imprisoned, just like those bound by the past. Fear, worry, and anxiety hinder us, preventing us from hearing the call of happiness. Therefore, the future also becomes a prison. Even if we try to be present in the current moment, our minds can still feel chaotic and empty, as if there's a big void within us. Perhaps we wait, eagerly anticipating something to happen to make our lives more exciting. We hope for something that could change our circumstances because our current life feels dull and uninteresting. Mindfulness is often described as a reminder bell for us to pause and listen quietly. We can use the sound of a bell or any signal to remind us not to be pulled away by the noise around us and within us. When we hear the bell, we pause, observe the breath in and out, and create space for silence. We can tell ourselves, breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. Breathing in and out mindfully, focusing only on the breath, we can calm all the noise within us, the monologues about the past, the future, or the desires for something. Just by breathing mindfully for a couple of seconds, we awaken to the fact that we are alive and we are breathing in. We are present, we exist. The inner noise disappears immediately, making room for a vast and profound space. Very majestic and powerful, we can respond to the call of the beauty around us. I am here, I am free, and I am listening. What does it mean to be here? It means, I am alive. I am truly present because I am not lost in the past, in the future, in thoughts, in the inner noise, or in the outer noise. I am present. To truly be present, one must have freedom, transcending thoughts, worries, fears, and desires. I am free is a profoundly bold statement because the truth is many of us lack freedom. We lack the freedom to listen, to see, and to be present. Silence among us. At Plum Village, a meditation center in the south of France, there is a practice called noble silence. The practice is straightforward. When there's a need to speak, speak. But when doing other tasks like eating, walking, or working, we only do those things. We don't speak. We do these things in noble silence, joyfully. This way, we have the freedom to hear the deepest call from our hearts. Recently, there was an outdoor meal, both monastics and lay people. Everyone went to get food and sat down together on the grass. We sat in concentric circles, small circles inside and larger circles outside, many circles like that, very peaceful. We didn't speak at all. I was the first one to sit down. I sat down and breathed mindfully to establish silence within myself. I listened to the birds, the wind, and enjoyed the beauty of spring. I didn't wait for everyone to sit down to start eating. I just sat quietly, enjoying the scenery for about 20 minutes while others got their food and sat down. There was silence, but it wasn't as profound as I had experienced before. Perhaps people were distracted as they walked back and forth to get their plates and food. I sat silently and observed. I brought a small bell with me. When everyone sat down, I rang the bell. Because everyone had been practicing listening to the bell and breathing mindfully all week, everyone listened very seriously. Right after the first mindfulness bell was sounded, the silence changed completely. It was a true silence because everyone stopped thinking, focusing their minds on their breath. We breathed together in silence, and the collective silence created a powerful energy field. This silence can be called thunderous silence because it is mighty and strong. In this silence, I could hear the wind, the birds clearer and more vividly. Before, I could hear the birds, the wind, but not like this, because the silence hadn't reached its deepest level yet. The practice of noble silence to dissolve the internal noise is not difficult. With just a little practice, we can achieve it. In the practice of noble silence, we can walk, sit, and enjoy our meals. In such silence, we have enough freedom to live joyfully and appreciate the wonders of life. With this silence, we gain the ability to heal our minds and bodies. We have the ability to live, the ability to be present. Because we are truly free, we transcend regrets, pains from the past, fears, doubts about the future, and escape all the inner monologues. Silence alone is good, but if we are silent together, it will create a very vibrant collective energy source, with great potential for healing. The sound of silence. Silence is often described as the absence of sound. However, it is also a very profound sound. I remember the winter of 2013-2014, not very cold in France, but very cold in North America. That year saw more snowstorms than usual, and temperatures dropped to -20 degrees Celsius. I recall the image of Niagara Falls during its coldest time. The falls were frozen, and the water couldn't flow down. The waterfall ceased. I saw that image and was deeply impressed. The waterfall had stopped along with the sound. About 40 years ago, during a retreat for young people in Chiang Mai, northeastern Thailand, I was near a stream and always heard the sound of flowing water. I savored each breath, washed my clothes, and rested at noon on the large rocks beside the stream. Whenever I was present, I could hear the sound of flowing water. Day and night, I heard the same sound. I looked at the surrounding trees and thought, since birth, they have heard this sound. Suppose this sound stops, and for the first time, they hear the sound of silence. If possible, let's imagine this. Suddenly, the water stops flowing, and all the trees born from the stream have heard the sound of the waterfall but now hear nothing. Imagine how surprised they would be when, for the first time in their lives, they hear the sound of silence. The 5 true sounds. Bodhisattva is a term in Buddhist literature used to refer to someone with great compassion, great loving kindness, dedicating their whole life to alleviating suffering for all sentient beings. The Buddha mentioned Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva as the Bodhisattva who deeply listens. Avalokiteshvara means the one who deeply listens to the cries of all beings in the world. According to Buddhist tradition, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva has the ability to hear all kinds of sounds. At the same time, he also has the ability to emit 5 different types of sounds, capable of healing the world. If one has the ability to listen to the silence within oneself, they can hear these 5 sounds. The first sound is the wonderful sound, the sound of the wonders of life calling us. It is the sound of birds, the sound of streams, the sound of falling rain, etc. The Lord is a sound. The Creator of the universe is a sound. Everything starts with sound. The second sound is Avalokiteshvara, the sound of those who know how to observe life. This is the sound of listening, the sound of silence. The third sound is Aum sound. This is a sublime sound, with a long history in Indian spiritual thought, the sound, Om. According to this spiritual tradition, the sound, Om, has an innate power to create the world. The universe is created by this sound. In the Gospel of John, there is a similar concept. In the beginning was the Word, John chapter 1 verse 1. According to the oldest text of Indian scripture, the Vedas, the word that created the world is Om. In the Indian Vedic tradition, this sound is the ultimate reality or God. Many modern astronomers also believe in a similar concept. They seek the origin, the beginning of the universe, and hypothesize that the beginning of the universe is the Big Bang. The fourth sound is the ocean tide sound. This sound symbolizes the Buddha's call. The Buddha's teachings have the ability to dispel misunderstanding, dissolve worries, and transform all suffering. Very profound and effective. The fifth sound is the triumph over the worldly sound, surpassing the sounds of the world, transcending all worldly noises. This is the sound of impermanence, a reminder not to get caught or entangled in any particular sounds or words. Many scholars have made the Buddha's teachings complex and difficult to understand. But what the Buddha taught is very simple and not caught up in words. Therefore, if the Buddha's teachings are too complex, then it is not the Buddha's voice. If what we hear is too loud, too noisy, too harsh, then it is not the Buddha's call. Wherever we are, we can hear this fifth sound. Even in prison, we can hear the sound transcending the noise of life. My deepest concern. When we are able to quiet the noise in our heads, we can establish our minds in silence, a thunderous silence. We begin to hear our deepest call. Our heart is calling us, but we cannot hear it because our minds are full of noise. Day and night, we are constantly pulled. Our minds are constantly thinking, especially negative thoughts. In daily life, many of us spend most of our time seeking comforts, such as material and emotional comforts, what we call our daily concerns. We are busy with those things: how to have enough money, enough food, housing, and other material possessions. In addition to material concerns, we also have emotional concerns: whether someone special loves us, whether our job is safe. Maybe we are looking for a relationship that is easy, comfortable, not too difficult to survive. We are looking for something to rely on and lean on. We worry about these things all day. It takes up all our time. We may spend 99.9% of our time worrying about these daily concerns, material comforts, emotional comforts. It's understandable because we need to meet our basic needs to satisfy our sense of security. But many of us worry too far, beyond our needs. Our bodies are healthy, we have enough food to eat, we have a home, and yet we still worry. Meanwhile, our deepest concern may be something we don't realize, something we can't hear. Each of us has ultimate concerns that are not related to material and emotional concerns. What do we do with our lives? We are here, but why are we here? Who are we? These are typical questions, but we don't have time to answer them. This is not a philosophical issue. If we cannot answer these questions, we will not have peace, nor will we have the joy of living, because without peace, there is no joy either. Many of us feel that we can never answer these questions. But with mindfulness, if we have a little inner silence, we can hear the answers. We can find the answers to these questions and hear the deepest call of our hearts. When we ask the question, "Who am I?" if we have enough time and determination, we will have an astonishing answer. We can see that we are the continuation of our ancestors. Our parents and ancestors are fully present in every cell of our body. We are the continuation of our parents and ancestors. We do not have a separate self. If we take our parents and ancestors out of us, we do not exist. We can see that we are made up of many elements, such as water, for example. If we take the water element out of us, we cannot exist. We are made up of the earth element. If we take the earth element out of us, we cannot exist. We are made up of the air element, wind. We need air immensely. Without air, we cannot live. Therefore, if we take the air element out of us, we cannot exist. And within us, there is also the fire element, the element that creates heat and light. We know that we are also made of light. Without sunlight, nothing can exist on this earth. If we continue to contemplate, we will see that we are made of the sun, one of the greatest stars in the galaxy. We also know that the earth, like us, is made of stars. Therefore, we are stars. We are not just the small form that we often think of ourselves. On starry nights, looking up at the sky, we can see that we are stars in the sky. No need to run. Mindfulness gives us a space and inner peace, allowing us to look deeply to find out who we are and what we want to do with our lives. We no longer feel the need to chase after meaningless pursuits. We have run too much to seek something because we think it is important for our happiness and peace. We force ourselves to achieve this or that to be happy. We believe that we cannot be happy now, so we create a habit that many people stumble upon, which is always chasing after one thing after another. I cannot be peaceful now, I cannot stop to live happily, because I need a few more conditions to be happy. In fact, we have extinguished the joy of living, our birthright. However, life is full of wonders, including miraculous sounds. If we have presence, if we have freedom, then we can be happy here and now. We don't need to run anymore. The practice of mindfulness is very simple. Pause, breathe, and calm your mind. Return to your true home to enjoy life here and now, in every moment. All the wonders of life are already here. They are calling us. If we have the ability to listen to them, we can stop. What we need is silence. Stop the noise in the mind so that we can hear the miraculous sounds of life. And we can begin to live our lives sincerely and deeply. Finally, when we take the time to listen to the call of our hearts through silence and mindfulness, we can discover the deepest aspects of ourselves. Through listening, we can find the answers to questions about ourselves and the meaning of life. Take time every day to create a space of silence in your soul, to listen to the call of your heart and discover your presence in every breath. It is in silence that we can find true peace and joy, independent of external material or emotional factors. Let mindfulness guide your path so that you can live a meaningful life and gain a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Live each day with an open and complete soul, so that you can experience every moment with wakefulness and depth.